Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's talk to Mr. Square. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Hey, how you doing today, Eddie?
Pretty good, brother. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me real good?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, my name is Richard Daniel, and I have a show, like a blog talk show, and I put a lot of situations what's happening around in Dallas. I guess we can use this internet as a vehicle to help promote your career and just basically showcase some of the things that basically what you can do. So as we start off this interview today, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Mhm.
Basically, I'll just let you talk, and we just lie and wing for the next 35 or 40 minutes.
That'll work.
hmm So basically, I want to know what's your name and where you from, and then something like a bio of yourself.
Got it. Yeah, my name is Eddie Aguilar. I am from Dallas, Texas. Well, originally born in Honduras, but I've been in Dallas just about all my life. Um, yep, I've been doing music since I was about 10 years old, um, singing in the choir at my dad's church. Um, think my progression as a musician has been pretty broad in spectrum just because I like to be able to do a little bit of everything. I think that the first thing that I actually picked up was the guitar a little bit.
hmm
I got my hands into that, and then bass a little bit. Put bass down for years, and then once I went into middle school, I started playing trombone, which is where I began to really understand music. Came back to bass. Now I'm playing bass most of the time. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
saw a trombone in your hand. I was wondering maybe most instruments players, the most versatile. I play about serious instrument. I play about three or four different instruments
right.
myself. And most of the time, you want to try to center your points and basically want to try to master one and let the one be like the alternative one you want to try to throw back with you when you go in the studio and stuff like that. But
Right.
and you see, how long have you basically been playing the instruments now?
Uh, Trombone, I would say about 20 years.
20 years.
Uh, Bass, I would say now about 7 years. And then I can play a little bit of keys and guitar. I've always been the type of person that if there's something that needs to be done, uh, or there's a gap in something that I need to be covered, if I'm not able to get it placed, I'll just do it myself. Which is why that I've spent so much time just trying to learn as many instruments as I can. I won't say I'm a master at any of them, right? Uh, but I put in the work to be able to work with anything that I put my hands on. So so
Okay.
yeah, guitar is fairly newer, and keys are fairly newer, but it's all coming around.
Okay. Now you said you went to church. You go to church. Your dad is a minister, so like you're the PK's kid, huh? You playing
Oh,
in
my
the
dad wasn't a minister. He was a minister of music for a small church that we went to in Irving for a little while.
mm-hmm.
Um, he sings and plays guitar. So not a preacher's kid, but I definitely grew up in church.
Yeah, yeah. So also, do you have any kind of schooling, any kind of universities or schooling thing that you?
Yeah, I have a little bit of schooling. I went to University of Texas in Arlington for a little bit of time. I was going as a performance jazz studies major. I ended up dropping out because my musical opportunities at that point were um, starting to come around a lot more, and it, parts of me wish that I would have finished my degree in it. But then again, at the same time, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that I've had musically, and all the experiences that I've been able to do. So, you know, if you're doing one, you have to kind of cut out the other part of it for a little while. So, uh, although I do wish that I would have finished my degree, I'm definitely grateful for the experiences that I've had.
So you
Um,
say that you live what you live in Urban or
no, I'm in Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff? Oak Cliff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, are there any bands, anything right now you currently playing with now?
Yeah, I'm actually with a band called Downtown Fever, one of the Emerald City bands. So
Emerald City. Oh,
yeah,
Emerald
so
City.
Emerald City is
I
a
think I
company.
met you one time. Have you ever been to this place called the Switchyard?
Possibly. Right.
I
It
used to
sounds
meet
familiar.
one day out there. Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
yeah.
It
It's like
must have
a
been some time
fair
ago.
out there. They have all this Switchyard. They have these different bands and stuff played out there once a
Yeah.
year. So,
So
now you say like you play multiple instruments now.
mhm,
Um, the bass, and I've been talking to a lot of bass players for the last 3 weeks. And some of the things I like to ask, players that play the instruments what are some of the shortcomings? Is what are some of the problems? What sort of strings and what sort of amps do you use? And It's a big question. I've been doing a little survey, and I've been seeing a lot of people right now playing a lot of five-string guitars, bass guitars.
mhm,
I'm trying to figure out when was the point that you really wanted to find out you wanted to move from four strings to five strings. You even got some people doing six. So
right.
when was the time that you had to figure out you want to try to upgrade? I mean, you can say it's an upgrade.
I think it's not necessarily an upgrade, but when I started playing at churches, that's when it's almost needed. If you're playing at a gospel church, a lot of the how the music works and gospel, you need that low B. You'll even tune down your bass a whole step down because a lot of it is in the music that's already being recorded and produced. So um, that's why I did it, and it's all about what you feel comfortable with. It's not that you're not able to do it on a four string, but um, as individual players, it's whatever helps you feel best with what you're putting out there as a musician. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, now you play trombone too, and I'm a brass man. I've been playing trumpet for about 40 years, and
mhm,
some of the problems I have on playing brass instruments is like armature problems, mouthpiece settings, different sorts of mouthpieces, and some brands of trumpets and trombones. Um, I had bought a trumpet about a couple of years ago. This company called Jupiter, man, and I got stuck with a flugelhorn, man. It basically wouldn't play in tune, man. And I played,
mm,
you know, I paid some money for it, and I was kind of feeling kind of bad, man. But then it was like a learning spot. You learn from your mistakes
Right.
about instruments. When you putting out, shelling out a lot of money, and then at the same time when you're going and playing and you're doing it with something that's not basically staying in tune, it's not helping you. It's more hurting you more than anything.
Right.
But
Definitely.
it's all right when you like a novice, you're an amateur. But when you're on a professional setting, you need a professional instrument to hold up for you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like the trumpet and the trombone is mostly, I would say that in the setting of big bands and quartets and combos, what are some of the problems and you have in organizing a group like this? You know what I'm saying? I haven't played in a big band in a long time, but when I did it, it was mostly practicing and
Right.
long scales, everybody getting together, and basically, I would say like basically we'll have to have like a substitute list, you know, a sub
Right.
list. You basically have to have a sub for every position that's mostly in your group. And when you're talking about horn players, most of the horn players they wanna vary and go around to a lot of groups around in town. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't
Right.
know
Right.
why they do that, but even with this pandemic thing that's going on now, everybody wants to work. And I'm going to ask you another question right now. I've been seeing that you have been having this internet. You have a player of the week, right?
Yeah. My backyard concert series.
Okay, now tell me something about that.
Yeah. Well, maybe I think once the pandemic started, maybe about a month after, I just you really start feeling it when you're a musician and you can't play any gigs, can't play any music aside from what you're doing at home. It just kind of it does something to you spiritually and mentally
Yeah.
when you're not able to do what you love. So I think I'm fortunate in the fact that through my years of being a musician, I've had I've been able to develop a lot of great relationships with a lot of really awesome musicians and singers and uh, so my girlfriend was actually the one that kind of had the idea. She's like, because at the time I was living in right outside of Deep Ellum, in a townhouse, and on the third floor we had a really big balcony. So uh, she was like, it'd be cool to do some music out here. It's right down the street from Deep Ellum. She was like, yeah. So maybe a couple of weeks went by, and I passed it by a few of my friends and like, hey, you guys just want to jam out on my balcony, and it turned into a whole thing. I was able to get like a solid, really good full band together, and I started featuring a different vocalist every week. So now when I moved to Oak Cliff here a few months ago, I kind of stopped doing it, and it's the situation is the same. We're not working as much as we need to, so I
Mm-hmm.
decided to just do it in my backyard again. It's still the same vibe, it's very low pressure. We don't rehearse, so whoever I pick for the to be the featured artist for the week will send me 10 to 12 songs, and then I'll just shoot them out on a playlist to the guys. We'll show up the day of, maybe about an hour early. If we need to hit any rough spots that could possibly happen, we'll touch them real quick. It's never a perfect show because again we don't rehearse. But the quality of musicians that I'm blessed to have around me, they're just awesome
Like,
guys. So
what sort of tunes you play?
we do everything. I think last week we featured a young lady named Raven, and she did everything from Tool, rock band, um, and to Britney Spears to Drake. So her set list was very, very wide because that's what she likes, right?
Yeah.
And this weekend we're featuring Walter Lee, and he's a little bit similar in that fact that he's doing a lot of soul and some Lenny Kravitz and things like that. So
Yeah.
we whatever they want to do, whatever that artist wants to do, that's what we're gonna do because it's their spotlight
Yeah.
per se.
Well, what are some of the shortcomings? Have you heard any kind of results from some of it? Have you heard a lot of people, giving you a lot of praises for it? I kind of stumbled up on it last week, and I watched a little bit of it, and I would say like, and before it's over with, and I'm believing that maybe that's going to be the format for playing pretty soon. Everybody's going to be searching the internet or even YouTube, and it's going to be like a paid per performance on
Right,
the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of, you know, it's a serious thing, but it's the only way around. And I was watching
right.
tonight how football season is starting tonight, and I'm just wondering, man. I worked a game last week. Got another job I work on, and we work at security out in North Texas, University of North Texas, and they had a
Hmm.
game Saturday. And I didn't go, but a friend of mine said he went, and they said they got people at 50% capacity, and these people
Right,
over here, and one person over here. Some people want to wear masks, some people don't want to wear a mask, and it's a little tedious thing to be worried about your health, and at the same time, you have to survive and live in order to make a living. Well, this is our living. Anything you want to say, this is your living
right,
performance. And when you can't do this, your rent man, your bill, your car note, it steady goes on. And so we have to figure out another way in order to do this. And I applaud you a lot for doing this. So who you having for guests next week? Now, when do you? What time of the day do you have this now?
This Sunday I'm gonna have Walter Lee.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna stream it at 5:30 p.m. Right now, what I'm doing is I am opening up my backyard. I have a pretty big backyard.
Uh-huh.
So if somebody sends me a private message, I'll shoot them the address so they can bring out a lawn chair and just see the concert in person. Obviously, I cut it off after a certain amount of people because I don't want to have that many people in in the backyard just for safety reasons.
Yeah,
Masks are always enforced, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Walter's a really great guy and a great vocal act, so
mm.
it should be a lot of fun.
Oh, this other trombone player. His name is he plays down at the Freeman. You ever been to the Freeman downtown?
Yeah,
I know. I think his name is Terry. Black guy got a lot of braids on his head. I can't call his name right now.
Terry.
Uh, Gillum starts with a G last name. Yeah, he's real good. I had got him.
Who does he play with?
He plays with that group that Freeman. It's a guy. A guy named Man Robinson. You know Man Man?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Man
Yeah, I
Man.
know who you're talking about. Yeah, no, he's
Yeah,
solid kid. Yeah, he plays really well.
yeah, Man Man's a wonderful keyboard player, man.
You're talking about the Found.
Yeah, the Found. yeah. You got him. You got him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a solid trombone player. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So, when we were talking now, we're gonna see what's plans do you have in the future when we all get situated and everything gets to be normal, semi-normal? What plans you have in recording, being with a band, or starting up new functions of bands? What do you have in the works? You got anything you written or any kind of new songs, anything that you write?
I don't have any music of myself, which is kind of a shame. I've always said that I was gonna sit down and write some music for myself. So maybe that'll be something that I work on here, maybe within the next few months, and see if I could start actually putting out some of my own content out. But for now, I'm blessed to be with Downtown Fever Band. I think that's a really great group of musicians, and we put on a great show.
let's describe this group now. Who do you have playing with this group now? I think I met a couple of them. You know, I know this trumpet player. His name is Roy.
Willie Roy.
Willie Roy. I met him
Yeah.
one night. Yeah, Willie Roy. And
Yeah, Willie Roy is our trumpet player. Perry Richardson's our sax player.
uh-huh.
Um, and the girls, Raven, Angelique, and Kim, they do a great job. Walter, who I'm featuring on Sundays, actually, our male lead for that group.
Uh-huh.
Brian Qualls was our bass player for that situation. He's also the drummer that I use on my live streams on Sundays.
Uh-huh.
Um, then Mitch Spencer is our guitar player for that, and John Two Turner is the drummer for that. So solid group. I mean, working for a company like Emerald City, we're feeling the effects of not have a lot of cancellations, but we're still able to work a little bit, so it's good for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have never have listened to. Do y'all have any recordings or any records or CDs you have out right now?
No, it's so Downtown Fever is what it's known as a cover band, right?
Uh huh.
So we don't really have any recordings. I think we do have a video, like a Zoom video that we all did together of a song, and it's posted on the Downtown Fever website or Downtown Fever Facebook page.
Yeah.
We did that, but we don't typically record original material with that group. We just do a lot of shows.
Yeah. You know, I've been in the music field for about 40 years now, and one of the main problems I found out in starting bands and having bands is basically for a band to exist for over 2 or 2 years is a marvelous thing because you have a complexity of different personalities that's blending with each other. Sometimes you have egos, you have to fight against each other, and sometimes it goes on for years. And a lot of bands and a lot of professional people and recording artists, I was used to wonder why do bands break up? And I was talking to a guy last week. He was telling me about a real professional group that basically broke up because the guys couldn't get along with each other. We thought everything was happy, but I guess during the years they just have to move on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whether it's contract issues that make people force you to be with each other and be together, but at the same time you're not really happy. And
Right.
sometimes it's songwriting, sometimes it's control writing. Some people they won't let them play their material, and that's why you see why most people really go solo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and it's a marvelous thing for a band to go over I believe 3 or 4 years as being a group. Without having internal issues. That's what I call them, internal
Right.
issues. You know, you know, and for y'all to do like this is it's a wonderful thing for a band to exist, especially in this era that we living in. Basically, I would say that music in Dallas Fort Worth mostly went through a lot of change. I can even go back to the time when we had the disco era. Everybody was
Mhm.
playing disco groups. You had the DJs and then you come in, you talk to the club owners, and then they say, "Well, man, y'all charge too much, man. I can get this DJ and pay him $300, man. The less problem, don't have to worry about nobody coming late, missing their members and stuff. And that went on for a long time, and finally, people basically they got tired of hearing this can funk. That's what I call it, a can
Mhm.
control thing. And they want to hear versatile stuff. They want to hear the tunes, real range. They want the people feel. And
Right.
basically it worked within itself. Um, you can go on so long with something. That's what I'm trying to say, but
Right.
eventually it has to change in order to the people because number one, that's who's paying to see you, other people, and if you can't really satisfy them and make them happy, you're gonna be in the clubs or they're not having enough people coming in. Basically, they don't want you to come there no more. So it's a marvelous thing for a group to exist over 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I applaud y'all for having this group. I even know I've been listening to this place group for about, I would say about, how long? About 10 years.
Oh yeah, I've been around for quite a
Long
while.
time. Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it has a lot to do with just the people themselves. I think that when you're in a good situation and you're doing music, you always have to come at it with just a grateful heart. That you're able to do something that you like and understand that. You especially when you're with multiple people at a time. It's not just about you. It's about every. It's a group effort, and I think when you understand that it's for it to be successful, everybody has to be on the same page, and you have to keep an open mind to other people and how they feel, and what their wants and needs are. I think it just makes the situation a little bit easier. I've been in bands too where just didn't feel good to be in the band. It just didn't feel right. But um, there's a level of professionalism that you always have to have with whatever you're doing. Um, I've been the same way since I was a kid. If I'm playing something, if I'm doing something musically, I take it really serious, and which is why I believe that I've been able to have these connections over the year and develop what I hope was some sort of respect in the music community, um, because I do take music very seriously, and my goal is always to put out the best product that's possible with whatever situation I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, do you have any contact numbers for this? Do you have any kind of email addresses so we can basically try to address everybody to this function that you have on your backyard? So
Yeah,
I
it's
want to try to get into it.
yeah. You can come through. It's
I got this set that man that I'm trying to do now. I'm a hard bopper. Yeah, man. I like hard bop.
Yeah,
I like a lot of blue note tunes and
yeah,
uh, mostly trumpet. I like soloing on the trumpet.
yeah, yeah,
And so I have a couple of tunes that I'm trying to get together, and I'm trying to assemble a lot of people together. But I'm finding out that I need a lot of money. No, I don't need a lot of money, but I need a lot of money and time for me to do it.
right,
So, I got a combination of people that I want to try to put on it, but like I'm saying, every time I get started with one thing, something else happens.
yeah,
And I would say with any youngster now, I'm going on pretty man. I'm 67 years old next week, and I've been around in this Dallas Fort Worth area for over, I would say, the whole 67 years I've been living here.
yeah,
Seen a lot of things come and go. I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen a lot of music groups come together, stay here for a while. I've seen a lot of music idols and music heroes come and go and they come back and one of the most tragic things where I think last year, man, I never got to meet him, but I always wanted to meet Roy Hargrove.
oh yeah,
Meet Roy,
uh,
man.
yeah, yeah. I did meet him a few years back. A lot of the people that I'm acquaintances with were in his band, so I got the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. Yeah, it's terrible. He's just the kind of music that he wrote was just awesome. He was just such a good player, and he understood music a different way. And you could tell by the records that he put out. And anybody that really knew him just loved the guy. I didn't know him as well as I would have liked, but from what I've heard, he was just a great musician and even better person. So
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm kind of real good friends with Keith Allen. Uh,
yeah,
Keith been going through a lot of problems with his health lately,
Hmm.
And I would say like any musician, and we were talking about this last week. I was talking to Mr. Frederick Nicholson. We was talking about how musicians go through periods that basically right now what's happening with the pandemic, we don't have money coming in, and basically I believe that there should be some kind of private or insurance fund or some kind of fund set aside to help musicians that are struggling and are trying to make it, and work, you
Right.
know, and and it should be something, not only if you get in the union now. I don't know whether you in the union. I never, tried to
No, I'm
get,
not.
you
Yeah.
know. I think he told us he was in the union, and I think it should be, somewhere, something should be there to help him, people that do it, because I would
Right.
think a lot of people are struggling right now, trying to pay their rent, pay the car notes, and just stay above water. And it's a real tragic thing that a lot of people leave here, and they try to leave a legacy. Some people don't. Some people, and when they're gone. And,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I agree. There should be. See, when something like this happens, it's just no. This is new, right? This is not anything that anybody has ever thought about preparing for. Especially it, when you're a contract musician, like as contract musicians, you get paid cash a lot of the time. A lot of the things that you need to do in order for you to be able to, for example, the unemployment benefit, a lot of the things that requires for you to be able to get it as a musician, as a contract musician, a lot of people don't have accessible. Like if they're going to give you money, they're going to want proof that you've been working as a musician, right?
yeah,
So when you're getting paid cash and you're not making your deposits into your bank account, you don't claim your money on your taxes, and
yeah,
this is it,
yeah,
it's just kind of shoots you in the foot. But you don't know, you never know that nobody knew that this was going to happen. So
yeah,
how can you prepare for something like this for years in advance when it's new? I don't know. It's very unfortunate. Uh, how do you regulate something like that? How do you find out who's actually a legit working musician that counts on this money, all right, uh, for themselves to make a living, uh, as opposed to somebody that does it every once in a while, plays a club here and there, maybe once or twice a month.
mm,
It's hard to it's hard to pinpoint that.
yeah, yeah,
So it's there's a lot of things that need to go into it in order for some sort of assistance to be able to come our way to the people that actually need it. Like I'm a full time musician now. Um, I know a lot of full time musicians that are hurting. I also know a lot of other musicians that don't work full time. Like how do you differentiate the two when you know there's no real way? I'm lucky. I work for a big company.
oh,
So any paperwork that I send in for any sort of assistance, that company responds to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but if you're just if you're just a fill if you make your living as as a sub for a lot of bands, they don't really have that kind of information for you,
Mm,
right? So
yeah, yeah.
it's tough.
Okay, Eddie, we're trying to close out on our interview today, and I really appreciate you coming in and spending a little bit of your time with me,
Yeah, Richard.
maybe one day me and you can work together on something too, man.
Yeah, man, hit me up. All my contact information is on my Facebook page. So for
Okay.
anybody that wants to reach out, come out to one of my shows, or just wants to speak about anything. So my phone
Give
number
out
and
some
my
contact numbers right now. You got a contact number?
yeah, it's on there. It's on my
Okay.
Facebook page, my phone number and my email address.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay then. Well, As we close now, I'd like to thank Mr. Aguilar for being my guest today on the show, and I want y'all to check in what he has to do. Is right now you say it's on Saturday evenings, right?
Yeah, Sunday. This Sunday will be at 5:30.
5:30. Okay.
Yes,
In his backyard.
in my backyard.
In the backyard. All right. So as we close today, I'd like to thank Mr. Aguirre for being my guest today, and like we really appreciate him being in today, and for my latest edition of Mr. Rick's Place, I thank y'all for tuning in today, and I wish everybody good health and good luck, and take care of yourself as you go there. Thank you, Eddie, for being a guest today on the show. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Richard. You have a good one.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, I really appreciate Eddie for being here today. Uh, as we closing the day, maybe next week I'll have another guest when we'll go through my latest issue of Mr. Rick's Place, where I have a lot of important people, artists, stars to come in, and we can sit and talk to everybody, and we just make it happen. So I really appreciate y'all stepping in today, and the people that want to listen, and people that don't want to say anything, want to listen, tune in. And I'm setting up a page. I'm gonna put all my interviews on, and basically you can just hear me vent. I talk about a lot of things. Sometimes I'm political, sometimes I'm social, sometimes I'm musical, real musical, and sometimes I'm even critical. And I hate being a critical, and but it's the way I was taught when I was growing up, that basically if I see something that I don't like, and if I don't say nothing about it, it will forever go on. So basically, if you cannot take a criticism, and then one thing that I was learned when I was, taking lessons, criticisms are here to make you better. Critique. When you're getting critiqued, like I might be getting even critiqued for my show, but if there's anything you see and you think I should improve it, I would, really enjoy you, you know, helping me out. So as we go on this week, I appreciate Mr. Burrell being